Hi, I'm Mads, and ever since I was 5 years old, I've created Fakemons, and it's time to remake them all. Join me to create the Hydonso region.
Welcome back. Today we have 5 Pokemon we need to recreate. And if you are an OG coming from my other channel, you have already seen these Pokemon before, but fear not, they will be remade again. Starting with a mouse Pokemon, or a better term for them would be cat toy Pokemon. Originally created in 2005, obviously inspired by my cat's toys. They were updated in 2011, where their personality starts to show. I drew them again in 2013, and here you really can see that they got personalities now, all the way. And this personality gonna stick around. Which lead us to 2021, when I first made fake Pokemon over on my main channel, where I talk about learning, special education and self-development. And even though I'm quite happy with these designs, I can do better. So let's go. Originally, I didn't want to change anything, I just want to keep it the same and just use a different brush than I used to back in 2021. But the more I worked on it, the more I felt like I can do its anatomy a lot better. So I ended up redrawing it completely, though still in the same pose. They are closer to my current style of making Pokemon, which are definitely getting better. I kept its feet and hands that I added in 2021. As you can see on the side here, he didn't have that previously, because cat toys usually don't have it. But obviously when you make creatures, you want them to make sense in your world, and I felt like hands and feet are necessary for this Pokemon to run around. It's also obviously based on maracas, the rattling sound. This fur, it's much like this rough material created for cats to scratch and bite on. Rattle, the cat toy Pokemon. Normal type. Ability, rattled and run away. Hidden ability, unnerve. Dex entry. Rattle never feels safe. It is afraid to be hunted down by Catervision. If it gets caught, it releases its poison, but unfortunately, Catervision loves its poison. All it can do is to signal to those around to hide. Rattle's tail always makes a sound whenever it goes. This is how they communicate with each other, but also how their enemies find them. Rattle uses its poison to make its opponent hallucinate, so it can run away safely. It usually lives in urban areas or in fields. For its shiny colors, it references the typical lab rat, often being white, and its red colors are now green instead, almost making it look more sickly and unnatural, which many of these lab rats are. And if it wasn't obvious, Rattle is actually the Hydonso region's regional rodent. I hope you like Rattle, but if you don't, maybe you will like its evolution, which happens at level 25, and then it turns into Cobrat. So when I saw my cat play with this long rat, I knew I had to make it into a Pokemon, because it was all there is obvious. Continuing in the theme from its pre-evolution, Rattle with the whole maracas or rattling theme, it's a rattlesnake. It's a rattlesnake rat that is also a cat toy. And just his name, Cobrat. It's a cobra rat, there's also a brat. I think it's pretty clever, and I really like its personality. It's kind of full of itself. It tries to be this beautiful but arrogant creature. Admittedly, one of the hardest thing with this Pokemon is its colors. So I wanted to stay true to my cat's actual toy, which was white, red, yellow and black, which I found difficult because these colors are usually very strong and pops out very easily. This also works well for poisonous snake. I made lore around it. However, I felt like the white fur kind of disappeared. So I decided to do this one thing that I felt brought it all together, which was changing its eye color to black, which made the eyes pop and the focus goes to its face and then down to its body. And hopefully this comes across the same way for you. Cobrat, the cat toy Pokemon. Normal poison type. Ability rattled and intimidate. Hidden ability unnerve. Dex entry. Cobrat hunts down Catervision as revenge for its pre-evo's fear for life. It doesn't mind playing with its food, and its poison is paralyzing, even deadly in large doses. It's likely to build its nest in dumpsters and is considered a pest. Cobrat digs its own body into the ground, only revealing its head. Its prey will think it's dead, and once its prey is nearby, it charges a lethal blow. Cobrat is known for its malevolent nature. Its habitat is like rattle in the city or in the field, and for its shiny, I decided to go for a little bit more typical poison type colors. In 2021 I had it as a dark poison type, but for consistency I feel like normal poison is better, and honestly we need more normal poison types. But maybe you disagree. Let me know what you think about Cobrat, and in general what you think about these two cat toy Pokemon, also being the regional rodent. Personally, I've always loved this concept, and I hope you do too. But since we have a mouse, we need a cat. But as you can see, we have 5 Pokemon here, and that's because I've merged 2 Pokemon lines. On the left we have a Pokemon that was made in 2001, based on a cat that I met in Spain and stayed with for 3 months, and I loved as a child, and was the reason why we got a cat later on. But I decided to merge the middle and final evolution together, because for its final evolution I wanted it to be based on this cat creature I made in 1999. Well, it may not look like a cat now, but it will later, because I loved this guy. All of them got updates in 2005, still being unrelated, but taking on similar themes, especially when it comes to many eyes. And the final evolution got an update in 2011, and I was considering it as a legendary Pokemon. But this all changed in 2021 when I made them into one line. As much as I love them, I can definitely do better, especially with the middle evolution. As cute as it is, I feel like it doesn't fit in. But I didn't really want to cut it. For the other two, I just wanted to update their art a little bit. So the more I tried to just redraw it, the more I felt like I could do a better pose for it. I wanted to be a happy-go cat. I wanted to show its body a little bit more, because it is quite thin, and that is because it's blind. Yes, it has an all-seeing eye, or a psychic ball as an eye. So obviously I made a whole new pose and made it way more dynamic. The previous one was good, but it lacked personality in my opinion. It also references witches, witches' brooms, superstition in general. Its ear is kind of also an homage to witch hats. Very fitting for a Halloween video. Caterstition, the superstition Pokemon. Psychic type. Ability, anticipation and telepathy. Hidden ability, shadow tag. Dex entry. Caterstition is blind. However, it's able to see somewhat with its third eye and only eye. It is quite clumsy and therefore will easily break items in its surroundings. This has led to it to be considered a bad omen whenever you spot one. Caterstition is very fond of people and loves to be petted. Some claims to have seen Caterstition flying through the sky. Its habitat is also in urban areas and in the fields. For its shiny, it's a white cat. What do you think about the changes I made to Caterstition? Hopefully you like it as much as me. And obviously it needs to evolve at level 13 into Catervision. So I've been working back and forth with this Pokemon for a few months now, trying to nail down the personality I wanted to have, and being a good middle evolution, somewhere in between the two of them. One thing I wasn't able to do originally in 2021 was to focus more on the psychic cat element, or the psychic element in general, focusing on the psychic ball. And I was okay with it being kinda crazy looking, because the final evolution is crazy looking. I want the Ripper cloth to be a big part of its design, because it needs that to evolve. So with the colors I decided to have it kinda in between the first and final evolution, and the Ripper cloth is kinda taking over the Pokemon. And the witch tail of Caterstition is now unfolded into a psychic ball, again focusing on the vision aspect in its name. Maybe the sad thing is that it's a little bit further removed from its original designs, but that is also what limited its design in 2021. But I feel like I found a middle ground of honoring the past, but also staying true to what I want the Pokemon to embody. Catervision, the psychic cat Pokemon, psychic type. Ability, anticipation and telepathy. a hidden ability, Shadow Tag. Dex entry. Catdivision's third eye is fully open. It's a popular Pokemon among psychics and ghost hunters. It can see into multiple dimensions and predict the future. Catdivision's favorite activity is to hunt and prey Rattle. It loves the psychedelic sensation it gets from Rattle's poison. Its habitat is the same, urban and field, and the shiny is referencing the typical bedsheet ghost, and also in between the shiny colors of its first and final evolution. Now I feel like Catdivision is what I imagined back in 2021. What do you think? In order to evolve Catdivision, you need to level up knowing Phantom Force and holding the Reaper Cloth. This will give you the boss itself, Catdimension. Like I said earlier in the video, I always loved this Pokemon. And yeah, maybe it looks a little bit too powerful, and you know what? I'm okay with that. And just like with Catdivision, I originally just planned to have the same pose and just touch it up a little bit. Obviously that did not happen because I felt like I could do its personality much better. It is obviously based on the Cashmere Cat from Alice in Wonderland, especially the live action one. In terms of personality, in terms of coloring, in terms of abilities, it's all based on that. It takes some elements from Totoro's cat bus and just wormholes, which you may have noticed is a common theme in my region, which I will talk about in a later video. But this Pokemon can go in and out of dimensions. In addition to being Psychic type, it's also Ghost type. Now it has taken the Psychic powers and fused with it, and is now able to travel dimensions. So essentially the Psychic Ball or the Psychic Power, it's in its body fully now. Also a reference to Psychics being jumped or being possessed because they don't know what they are doing. But also with Psychic powers, you can do cool things. Catdimension also have the typical evil cat personality from many animated movies. Cinderella comes into mind. Catdimension, the dimensional cat Pokemon, Psychic Ghost type, ability Wandering Spirit and Intimidate, hidden ability Shadow Tag, Dex entry. Until recently, Catdimension was thought only to be a fairy tale. It's now believed that it goes in and out of dimensions, sometimes even multiple at the same time. Its 13 eyes all see into different dimensions, and if all of them focus on you at the same time, it has already foreseen your death. Its habitat is urban and field, but it can really be wherever. Since its current form is actually its 2021 shiny colors, I made a new shiny for it, which brings back the black cat, which I almost used for its final design, but after thinking about it for a while, I decided to make it into a shiny. What do you think about Catdimension? Hopefully you like it as much as I do. Let me know which one of Catdivision, Catdivision and Catdimension is your favorite. And yes, I know it's very difficult names, but they work so well with the personality and the inspirations they have. So here we have all the Pokemon we made in this video. We have Rattle, we have Cobrat, we have Catdivision, Catdivision and Catdimension. My favorite is definitely Catdimension, but the other ones are close. And as usual, here's a hint for an upcoming episode: sharks and bombs. What could it be based on? Thank you so much for celebrating Halloween with me. Make sure to check out my other social media. If you want to continue your spooky theme, I recommend this video where I create dimensional Pokemon. Or maybe this one where I create paralyzed demon Pokemon and mental health inspired Pokemon. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and let's recreate them all in the next episode. Mads out.